pleasure of your company on this windy, stormy day, marked by a speech yesterday in the Senate Session Hall, from which I have been absent for almost a year, to which I will react at the end of this speech. But in any event, let me react to the front messages that have been delivered so far this morning. I would like to invite the UP Department of Emergency Medicine, through its chairperson, Dr. George Concepcion, to submit to me a draft of our proposed Emergency Act of 1913 so that we can institutionalize emergency medicine in our country. I shall immediately file it with the Committee on Health and occasionally check up on it until we are able to deliberate on it in Session Hall. So, tuwang-tuwa ako nandito kayo dahil nagpapakita lamang ng inyong commitment sa emergency medicine. Ako pasyente din ng emergency medicine. Isang taon na hanggang ngayon. Pero pinilit ko lang dahil alam mo pag tinawag ako ng UP, I will always run. Ngayon, may kwento rin sana ako sa inyo tungkol sa medisina. Minsan may tatlong matanda na nagkukwentuhan tungkol sa kanilang mga sakit. Sabi ng unang matanda, may problema ako. Nagigising ako tuwing alas 7 ng umaga at inaabot ako ng 20 minutos bago ako makaihi. Sabi ng pangalawa, mas malala ang sa akin. Nagigising ako tuwing alas 8 pero inaabot ako ng kalahating oras bago ako magkaroon ng bowel movement. Sabi ng pangatlo, ako naman tuwing alas 7 ng umaga, in punto, umiihi ako. Tuwing alas 8 naman, in punto, may bowel movement ako. Nagtaka ang dalawa niyang kasama, ano ba ang problema mo? Sabi ng pangatlong matanda, nagigising ako tuwing alas 9. Isang araw ng linggo, nagsimbang isang corrupt politician. Marami sila, kaya hindi ako malabas ng bahay. Sabi ng pari sa kanyang sermon, magbigay ka sa simbahan ng ayon sa kabutihan ng iyong loob. Nang narinig iyon ng politiko, nag-donate siya ng 100 pesos. Nakita ito ng pari, tinawag ng pari ang politiko. Ano po yon, Father? Tanong ng politiko. Ang sabi ng pari, itong sukli mo 99 pesos. Ito naman, tungkol ito kay tanda, kay sexy, at kay pogi. I know this old person that still goes after young women as if he's a teenager. Ilang araw lang nakalipas, nilaglag na niya yung kanyang kabata-bata na chief of staff. He is so old that if I told him to act his own age, baka bigla siyang maging alikabok. Kapag meron kang kaaway, sabihin mo lang sa kanya, I'm the happiest person when I saw, S-A-W, when I saw your face. Pagkatapos i-translate mo sa Tagalog, ako ang pinakamasayang tao pag nilagaray ko ang mukha mo. Matagal ko ng suggestion na magkaroon ng sariling building ang Senado kasi nag-uupa kami, ang laki ng inuupa namin. May racket na naman yan dyan. Dahil ang nag-ayos niyan para hindi kami gagawa namin sariling building, kundi uupa kami sa napakalaking halaga buwan-buwan, ay nakatanggap yan sigurado ng kickback. Ganon yan eh. Ang bago kong suggestion ay tayo ito, ang building ng Senado sa Davao. At itayo nila sa Davao Crocodile Park. Meron kanyan doon eh. My speech will be of two parts. The first one will be about emergency medicine and the second one will be about the pork barrel scam, which I know you don't want to hear about. Emergency medicine. In defining emergency medicine, allow me to use the words of the International Federation for Emergency Medicine. Quote, emergency medicine is a medical specialty, a field of practice based on the knowledge and skills required for the prevention, diagnosis, and management of acute and urgent aspects of illness services arrange for the disposition of patients by either admitting them to the hospital or releasing them after treatment as necessary. The subspecialties of emergency medicine are the following: palliative medicine, critical care medicine, medical toxicology, wilderness medicine, pediatric emergency medicine, sports medicine, emergency medical services, undersea and hyperbaric medicine. Thus, emergency physicians must have the skills of many specialists exemplified by the following skills. Resuscitate a patient. Ito importante kasi patay na ngayon lahat ng senator congressmen. They all need to be resuscitated. Hilong-hilo na kasi sila eh. Manage a difficult airway. Suture a complex laceration. Reduce or set a fractured bone or dislocated joint. Treat a heart attack. Work up a pregnant patient with vaginal bleeding. Stop a bad nosebleed. Place a chest tube. Conduct and interpret X-rays and ultrasounds. Let me give you, if you will allow me, a brief history of the background of your specialty. Emergency medicine traces its beginnings to a French military surgeon during the French Revolution. After watching the speed with which the carriages of the French so-called flying artillery maneuvered across the battlefields, he conceived the idea for the rapid transport of wounded soldiers to centralized field hospitals. That surgeon, Dominique Jean Larrey, is said to be the father of emergency medicine. In 1952, in the United Kingdom, emergency medicine developed as a specialty with the appointment of the first consultant in emergency medicine in the UK. Today, the College of Emergency Medicine is the single authoritative body for emergency medicine in the UK. It publishes the Emergency Medicine Journal. In 1979, the American Board of Medical Specialties voted in favor of emergency medicine as a recognized medical specialty. In that year, the American Board of Emergency Medicine, the industry certifying body for the specialty, was established. Today, among the notable universities with academic departments of medicine are the following: Johns Hopkins University, University of Pennsylvania, Brown University, and University of California at San Francisco. The emerging trend: freestanding emergency centers. Freestanding emergency centers are defined as walk-in medical facilities that are structurally separate and distinct from a hospital. A recent study by the Urgent Care Association of America provides the following details on such centers: freestanding emergency centers, which I shall call FECs. Quote, they specifically provide emergency care to the general public, just like a standard hospital emergency room. FECs are fully equipped to diagnose and stabilize cardiac arrest, stroke symptoms, breathing problems, and trauma. One large difference is that ambulances do not bring patients to the center, and the patients requiring hospital administration, surgery, or specialty care are transferred by paramedics to a higher acuity facility, unquote. What differentiates FECs from urgent care is what the FECs have in common with hospital emergency departments: 24-hour, 365-day operations, insurance contracting as an FEC, including FEC copay. Copay is a peculiar term used in American medicine. Copay charged, separate facility and professional fees charged, staffing by emergency physicians and nurses, and advanced life-saving imaging and laboratory capabilities. A blog dated 5 September 2013 stated that FECs are currently available in about 16 American states. Freestanding sila, para sila maliliit na ospital, pero malayo sila sa ospital. A study on patient demographics in Houston, Texas, reached the conclusion that time-starved professionals, yung palagi ng mga madali na mga professionals, prefer FECs because of shorter waiting time, more sophisticated capabilities, and better qualified providers. Hence, if, as a layman, I'm allowed to make an observation, It appears that Metro Manila will soon see the phenomenon of the FEC because of the following factors: an affluent, educated, professional population, a central concentration of the medical community, good geographical dispersion of residents, rapid population growth. There's one question that is left unanswered by this enumeration of factors driving us towards freestanding emergency centers. What is the question? Ano kayo, Senado? The question is, there is no provision for the urban poor. Well, we will see as we go along. Further, if you will allow me to go out on a limb, I predict that FECs will change the future of Philippine emergency care. In the near future, Metro Manilans will find these centers in office complexes and in neighborhood malls. They will be staffed with experienced board-certified physicians and emergency-trained nurses and staff, just like a traditional emergency room. They will provide emergency care and medications, laboratory services, CT scanner, and X-ray services. They will charge the same fees as a traditional hospital-based emergency room and accept all major types of insurance. Their main goal is that the patient does not have to undergo waiting time, and there will be no overcrowding. There are many advantages to freestanding emergency centers. They are open to the public 24 hours a day for the treatment of emergency medical conditions, and no appointment is required. Should a patient need to be admitted to the hospital, an ambulance is ready 24 hours a day. If possible, and I hope with your help, I will propose to the Senate that to build and maintain a freestanding emergency center is less expensive than to build a hospital. From U.S. experience, it appears that an FEC can be built for $25 to $30 million as compared to a hospital that will cost $400 million. In America, FECs now use a process called swarming, as in bees, swarming, where the nurses, physicians, and technicians all see the patient simultaneously when he first arrives. In the first 15 minutes, the patient will have triage, physician assessment, and order development. By contrast, this process of swarming could take 45 to 50 minutes in an ordinary hospital. Finally, please allow me to mention that I am the author of Senate Bill number 1728 with the short title of Emergency Medical Services and Trauma Care Improvement Act. It empowers the Secretary of Health to establish and operate a national clearinghouse on emergency services and trauma care. This clearinghouse will share information, give special consideration to the unique needs of rural areas, provide technical assistance, and sponsor workshops and conferences. The designated trauma care centers follow a plan for the provision of emergency medical services, specifically quality care for victims of injuries, resources, and equipment. Yun pala ang dami palang pera ng ating gobyerno na nakaw lang. Nung pabata pa lang ko, sasabi ko, ayaw niyong maniwala Kung ngayon nakita na ninyo, kaya marami tayong bumili nitong resources and equipment. Kaya hindi ko wini-waive ang aking PDAF dahil binibigay ko sa PGH, sa UP at sa iba pa. Kung hindi ko kasi kukunin yan ang magnanakaw, di ikaw na kumuha. Nalaman ko yan nung ako immigration commissioner kasi bawat pala sila magsingil o magtaga, is the better word in Tagalog, every time that they insist on kickbacks from their customers in Immigration Commission, meron kaparte talaga Immigration Commissioner. Kaya kung si Commissioner ayaw tumanggap ng kanyang parte, hatiin nila sa mga sarili na ginagaga ka lang dahil akala nang nagbigay, pumunta sa Commissioner, hindi naman alam ni Commissioner, dinagdag lang pala doon sa nanakaw ng mga kasamahan niya. Kaya hindi maganda na pag lahat nag-pork barrel, ikaw naman magsasabi ka, naglilinis kamay ka at magsabing, ayaw ko ng pork barrel, dahil nanakawin lang yan ng iba. Ay di, kunin mo na at gastusin mo sa tama, kahit bahala na sila. Ngayon, pumutok na ang problema, nahihilo na sila kung sino-sino tuturo nila, pati ako. So you provide, under this plan, rehabilitation services for trauma patients and assurances that such centers may not refuse the transfer of a trauma patient because the patient is unable to pay. The bill also provides examination and treatment of emergency medical conditions. That is the medical part of the speech. Now let us come to the more boring part, the more parallel part. Kapon, sabi ng isang senador na privilege speech na palagi siya pinabanggit, tatlo kasi sila, si Enrile, si Estrada, at si Revilla, pati pang isa si Unasan. Tatlo, apat, at sila palagi silang pinabanggit. Ngayon sabi nitong isa, bakit palagi kami pinabanggit? Tapos sabi niya, ba't ninyo banggitin yung iba? Unang-una pa ako, sabi niya, kamukha ni Miriam. Buti, maswerte siya, wala ko doon. But let me answer squarely his question. Why not concentrate on people like Miriam Defensor Santiago, since he's listed in the COA audit report as one of those senators, some of whose projects have not been properly implemented? The answer is this: it is not the responsibility of a senator to see to the execution and implementation of our pork barrel. Hinalal akong legislador, hinalal akong senador, hindi naman ko hinalal na kontraktor. Anong pinagsasabihin niya? Ay, nung gusto niya, iikot pala ako sa buong archipelago, titignan ko lahat ng pako at mga martilyo na ginagamit doon. Ang trabaho lang ay consulted with the former Secretary of Budget and Management, the distinguished Professor Benjamin Jokno of UP Economics. I said, ano ba responsibility namin? Ganito. Every year, 200 billion ang senador merong PDAF. Ngayon, twice a year or every semester or every tranche, as they like to use that word, mean to say installment, meron ka 100 billion. Ngayon, 100 billion mo divided into two. 50 million for hard projects, 50 million for soft projects. Hard project, yun bang mga with cement and steel, like roads, bridges, school buildings, hospitals, yun ang hard projects. Soft projects meaning food, medicine, and other things of minor value that are usually given in bulk. So the legislator has no choice. You give one half. If you are getting for that first semester, you get 100 million. So you give one half or 50 million to hard and then 50 million to soft projects. Ganon yan. Ngayon, ang kapangyarihan ng senador ay ganito. Meron kang menu or listahan kung saan mo ilalagay yung iyong mga projects na yon. E di mamili ka lang, tapos piliin mo kung sino maging beneficiary. After that, you have to name as an implementing agency the Department of Public Works, or DPWH, or a local government unit, such as the mayor, or the governor, or the congressman of that town. Kaya, na-include kami doon dahil sa merong circular ang COA na ang kanilang report ibibigay sa pinuno ng ahensya bago pa i-publicize yun para malaman namin mga senador kung sinunod ba ng aming mayor o governor or binigyan ng pera ang aming utos na magtayo sila. Yun lang yun. Para may pagkakataon kami, mapagalitan namin yung binigyan namin ng pera. That is the reason why COA did not investigate me or the others whom he mentioned. Gago talaga. Yan ang naabot nyo. Dahil kung sino-sinong hinahalaan yung artista. Para magkapulis ka, kailangan may college graduate ka, may college degree ka. Pero para kang mag-senador, wala ka. Kailangan ng ganun. Meron mga senador hindi pa nagtapos ng ka-high school para nyo malaman. Tapos hindi pa natin alam kung anong mga grado nila. Maaaring nakatapos sila, pero kung puro 3 naman sila according to the UP standard, which is the passing grade. O baka even worse, 3W, 3 warning. Ito siguro si 3 warning ito. Then magbabanggit pa naman, seeking protective coloration. Wala naman siyang sinabi, hindi tama yung mga pagbibintang sa kanya. Kung isasabi niya, lahat ng tao sa Senado, kamukha niya. I beg his pardon. Hindi naman siya nag-ROTC core sponsor, no? Alam niyo ganito bracket dyan. in so far as I'm concerned, dagdag lang na trabaho yun. The first time I became senator, I tried to return some of the money that was being given to me. But instead of giving it back to the National Treasury, what happened was it was given to the Senate. So, pinagtiparti nila, except me. Ngayon, ganito ang problema dyan. Una, wala kaming paki sa pork barrel o sa pagpatayo ng mga buildings o pagbigay nitong mga panglimos na mga pagkain o medisina o pangburol o pangbinyag from womb to tomb na pamimigay. Yan naman sinabi ng congressman, pupunta sila sa aming mga bahay, pag umuwi kami sa distrito, tinghi sila ng hingi. Paano? Sinanay ninyo. Sagutin nyo ba, ang katungkulan ko ay magpairal ng panukalang batas para magiging magaling ang ating lipunan para sa lahat. They fostered and developed this medical attitude among our poor. Now they present it as a reason for not giving up the project of the pork barrel. Ngayon, nung bata ako sa Senado, sabi nila, wala namang masama dyan eh. I told you, I consulted with the budget secretary. Bakit may ganyan pa akong trabaho? Akala ko magbabasa na lang ako at magdikta ng aking mga panukalang batas. Hindi, ibigay mo sa mga, palagi kasing kulang ang appropriations, ibigay mo doon sa mga favorite na mga agencies mo. Of course, I give most of it to UP because I am what UP made me. I give it to PGH. One of my sisters, one of my first cousins studied medicine in UP PGH, so I'm familiar with the surroundings there. That sometimes the queues of the patients can be so long that by the time the patient is the physician or the doctor is able to attend to the patient, he's already dead, lying down in his chair. That happened to my sister. You had to slap the person. He was not responding anymore. He had died waiting. That's why we need an emergency medical care center. Ganon din sa Senado. Sinasampal-sampal ng mga kanila. Wala na silang respond, mga patayin na. Intellectually moribund. Ngayon, ang paano nila nakaw yun kasi wala naman kaming hawak ng pera, hindi naman pinibigay sa amin yan. Kung hindi, every semester, the Office of the Senate President will tell you, Malacanang Department of Budget now wants your list of projects. So you get that huge folder of requests from various quarters and people, and then you pick out what you think are desirable, and then you make a list, maybe 5, maybe 10, depending. And then you submit it to the Senate President, end of the story. That's the end of the story. But ang problema ganito, pag sinabi mo na may proyekto ka, na ang gagawa ng proyekto may Department of Public Works, hindi lang yun ang ginagawa ng corrupt na politician, senador man o congressman man. Kung hindi, lalapit pa siya sa Public Works Secretary at makiusap, nagbigay na ako ng 50 million para sa proyekto na ito pero gusto ko ang contractor si XYZ. Diyan nagagaling ang corruption. Dahil wala silang kapangyarihan, magpili kung sinong contractor, wala silang wala na silang pakialam dyan. Sabihin mo lang, I want the hospital built there and I'm giving you 20 million of my PDAF to build it. Hindi naman ako karpintero, hindi naman ako tubero, ba't ako pinapaimbestiga ngayon itong kakong ito? Hindi pa na sila kakintindi ng prinsipyo ng pork barrel, talumpati ng talumpati, ano akala niya nito, pelikula? Ngayon, dyan yan. Kasi, nakasanayan nila yan. At ito namang mga cabinet members, particularly public works, social welfare, nakasanayan din na lalapitan ka ng senador. Takot sila sa senador baka ipa-imbestiga ka bigla. Baka i-cross-examine ka when it's budget time. Kaya pagbigyan mong senador, iyan ang gagaling ang anomalya dahil siya ang pumili ng kanyang contractor o ng kanyang beneficiary. Kaya noon, nakalagay, may pit. Ikaw, senador ka, piliin mo lang kung saan proyekto ang gusto mo ilagay ang pera mo. Wala ka nang pakialam. Dahil kung hard project yan, pupunta yan sa public works. Kung soft project yan, pupunta yan sa social welfare. Di tapos na. Pero, yata noong 1997 or 99, nakalagay sila ng isang linya sa budget. Kasi ang budget, ang kapal. Para siyang, have you seen the latest telephone books? They're a series of books, right? And they're very, very thick. So together, they're about this thick. Ang budget twice as thick kung gawin mo yung line item budgeting. Meaning to say, lahat ng kagastusan, lalagay mo talaga yan. Hindi ka mukha ng practice ngayon na nilalagay mo ang lump sum lang. Ngayon, ibig sabihin ka nito, pork barrel allocation, Santiago, 200 million. And then the other senator, ganun din. Pero sa ngayon, hindi mo makita sa budget. Ang makita mo lang, pork barrel allocation, ang total lang ng aming pork barrel sa Senado. So you cannot see really who gets what. You just have the huge total amount. Ngayon, dito sa pagpalit ng batas sa budget, nakalagay, hindi lamang ang implementing agency ay ang public agency, no, or state agency or government agency, kundi pati na ang NGO. Lalong sumama ang sitwasyon. Kasi walang pakialam ang NGO. Dapat ang NGO self-funded, non-governmental organization. Non-governmental, bakit yung maghanap buhay sa gobyerno? It is an oxymoron, isn't that so? It is self-contradictory. Non-governmental organization, NGO. And yet, naghahanap buhay siya sa pamagitan ng pera ng gobyerno. Kaya, antimano, suspityoso ka na. But anyway, they inserted that in the budget. O pumasok ngayon, itong poster girl, si Janet Napoles. Alam mo, ang kaibahan ng Napoles NGO sa ibang NGO, una may mga sana genuine NGO, no? Pero konti lang sila. Pangalawa, ang kaibahan ganito. Ang hanap buhay dati ng Senator Congressman ay nagkikomisyon ng kickback sa sarili niyang pork barrel. Yan ang main source ng hanap buhay nila eh. Kaya sila tumatakbo para sila makapaghanap buhay sa pamagitan ng pork barrel. Wala nang iba pa. Wala nang iba pang rason. Hindi ito a competition between the best and the brightest. No! It's a competition among pigs. Unahan sila. Ang dudumi ng mga pinagagawa nila. Ngayon, at least, kung nangumusyon lang sila, punta sila sa, halimbawa mo, no? Senator ka, punta ka sa Secretary of Public Works. O, magbibigay na ako ng 50 million para sa tulay dito sa Iloilo, my home province. Pero ako mamili ng contractor, ha? Opo. O, pinili kong contractor, itong si XYZ. Ngayon, mangungumisyon ka lang dyan. Bibigyan ka ng contractor, let's say, 10%, 30%. Happy ka na. Sabi ng contractor, ako na bahala sa lahat. Basta meron kayong 30% of the 50 million that you gave me. O di happy ka na. Meron ng proyekto. Meron ka pang komisyon. Happy rin si contractor. Mas malaki pa siguro komisyon niya ng sa iyo. Happy kayong tatlo. Pero sa Napoles ganito. Sa Napoles wala talagang proyekto. What happens is you are authorizing the grant of public, the people's taxpayers' money to an NGO that does not exist. So wala talagang proyekto, hati lang kayo ng NGO. Hati si Senator X, hati si NGO under Napoles, no project for the public whatsoever. That is the difference. That's why pinaprioritize ng COA ang Napoles NGO. Sabi nitong senador na ito, ba't hindi mo kami investigahin lahat? Ba't kami lang ng kami palagi? Palagi dahil silang associated with these Napoles NGOs. Yan ang Napoles, ang pinaka-rumal-dumal na korupsyon. Dahil wala talaga napunta sa bayan. Galit na nga tayo na ng komisyon. Kaya kung minsan ang daan natin, isang bagyo lang tapos na. At least may daan. Sa Napoles, wala talaga. we do first with this patient? Then ang dami niyang sakit. Ganun yun, if you prioritize, that is the answer to that senator's attack. And notice, he never said that COA was wrong. Or that the media accounts were wrong about him and the whistleblowers. Ang problema niya, isang track na ebidensya laban sa kanya ang nakuha na. At 16 or 10 whistleblowers, nagbigay ng affidavit. An affidavit is a statement in written form under oath. If you tell a lie in affidavit, you can be charged with perjury, another crime. So, yun ang pagkamali niya. Hindi tama yun na you have a shotgun and just shoot everybody on sight. Hindi naman kami lahat. Kailangan balilin. Ngayon, they're all very welcome. After this explanation, let me announce to the general public, all my political enemies are welcome to dig up my backyard and see if they found any dead body there. As long as they put it back. It's prior condition before, afterward. Ganon yun. Ngayon, ang katotohanan niyan ganito. Kasi mga doktor kayo magaling lang kayo sa gamot-gamot. So, did you see Jose Rizal? Sabi niya, kung hindi ko alam anong gamutin mo sa pasyente, lagay mo dyan sa daanan, sa hagdan ng simbahan, dahil lahat ng tao noon pupunta simbahan, para baka may makadaan at alam niya kung paano gamutin yon. O di maturuan ka pa. Ngayon, hindi naman sa tuturuan ko kayo. Pero, ang tunay na istorya dyan ay ganito. 2016 is the key word. We are having presidential, vice presidential, and of course, other kinds of elections in 2016. Ngayon itong si Revilla at si Estrada, puporma na maging vice presidential candidates ng oposisyon. Yung iba namang mga nainggit sa kanila at gusto naman din sumaling vice president, ay gustong-gustong magkaroon ng Blue Ribbon Committee hearing. Unang-una, diyan sa mga vice presidentials naman ng administrasyon, si Ginggona at si Escudero, kaya nakikita mo sa TV, palagi silang nakaposing doon. May paganon, may paganon. Pag nakikita pa sa UP, di ba? Pag tinawag ka mag-resign ng professor mo, you stand very square like this because you're terrified to death. And you don't accustom yourself or acculturate yourself to the available light. Sila hindi Hinahabol nila kung saan yung light ng camera. At saka, they ask these questions that are absolutely fatuous as far as I'm concerned. Ngayon, sa away nila, naisip itong dalawa, o meron pa kaya iba dyan na hindi ko lang nabanggit, na mag-Blue Ribbon Committee hearing dito dahil that is the talk of the town. And then, of course, will likely be televised. Sinabi ko na, huwag na mag-hearing. Kasi alam mo, ang hearing ng Senado o ng House of Representatives is only an inquiry in aid of legislation. Kung gusto namin mag-imbestiga, ay di dapat mag-apply kaming NBI agent, di ba? Eh gusto nila mag-senador, pero gusto nila mag-investigador. Trabaho ng NBI yun Tapos, inquiry in aid of legislation means, magtatanong ka sa mga testigo mo para malaman mo kung meron ng batas na mapairal mo para hindi na umulit pa ang iskandalo. Nailagay na sa dyaryo itong mga lahat ng sinasabi ng whistleblowers. One daily newspaper, apparently, has a scoop on all the other newspapers because it is able to get its hands on the affidavits. Ganyan sa journalism is highly competitive So, the public already knows what the whistleblowers have been saying in their affidavits. So, bakit pa kami mag-hearing sa Senado? Dahil alam na natin Kita mo, wala man lang whistleblower na nakapunta doon, except one, si Ben Hurloy. At wala naman siyang sinabi na bako, dahil alam na natin. Kaya kako, wala nang pantayan. Pagantay na tayo, dahil nasa NBI na fact-finding. See? Now, yan ang problema dyan kasi kanya-kanya silang eksena, nagpapadrama, mga drama kings. Hindi, I change my mind, drama queens. Drama queens. Paano mga itong bansa ninyo, Now I will continue with my speech. pa ha, isa pang anggulo ito. The pork scam and the principle of conspiracy. I have made it my business to inform the Filipino public of the legal procedures and processes involved in the foul and no-shading soap opera known as the pork barrel scam. Recently, a former Senate president who is a person of interest in plunder. Yun ngayon ang bagong term sa Amerika. Hindi ka na suspect kung hindi person in interest. Who is a person of interest in plunder, said to his lawyer that he never authorized his chief of staff, or COS, chief of staff, COS, to sign or agree to any transaction with alleged mastermind Janet Lim Napoles. Oh, of course, you know what I'm referring to. It's really his chief of staff, Gigi Reyes, who is my personal friend. Kasi UP law rin si Gigi eh. The COS is now in Macau, reacted to her Facebook account by saying that she did not expect that kind of betrayal, or in Tagalog, laglagan. Pero nung tagal-tagal na, what is the term of office of a senator? 6 years. Pero 6 years na, nakipag-deal sila kay Napoles. Sinasabi ngayon ni Senate President, wala akong pakialam, lahat yan pakulo ng aking Chief of Staff. Eh di sinagot yun ni Chief of Staff. Katraidor mo namang tao. Atid lang mo sa Chief of Staff, girlfriend pa. Taka mas bata. Huh? Whether or not the center succeeds in transferring criminal liability to COS, it appears that between the two of them there is a conspiracy. The penal code provides that, quote, a conspiracy exists when two or more persons come to an agreement concerning the commission of a felony and decide to commit it. Ngayon, importante malaman natin kung may conspiracy because the basic effect of conspiracy in criminal